Good morning. Happy Thursday. Welcome to From the Nosebleeds. I'm Joey Gunnar here today with Will Peterson. Will, how you feeling this morning?
I'm great, Joey. How are you, man?
I'm doing well, doing well. Of course, this whole week has been filled with excitement leading up to the divisional round. And while we've been waiting to see what's going to happen with the Broncos, the Nuggets have been just getting wins over wins over wins without Nikola Jokic. They're now 6-3 without Jokic. There is something crazy happening at Ball Arena right now. I've been going back and forth with Richie Carney, actually talking about Payton Watson. I don't know if you've seen any of the dialogue that we've had with each other in the past week, but talking about Payton Watson and how he could potentially be the next KD. And I just keep going back and forth with him because, that guy's on a tear right now.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, no one could have seen this coming. I think people knew Payton Watson had a lot of potential, but now that he's had to be the guy with so many injuries, and yeah, Jamal Murray's still the Nuggets' best player, but Payton has stepped up in an incredible way without Nikola Jokic. Yeah, he's reaching heights over the last 2-3 weeks that no one thought Payton Watson would in his NBA career. I mean, his defense has always been so solid, but his offensive game has just developed at an absolutely rapid rate. And the Nuggets have some interesting decisions to make between now and the trade deadline. And I think on one hand, you never want to disrupt a good thing. Just kind of go for a title this year and let the chips fall the way they may fall. And on the other hand, do you look to move a Cam Johnson so you can pay Payton Watson? Do you look to move a Christian Brown so you can pay Payton Watson? Not things I'm necessarily advocating for, but I do think conversations that are now officially in bounds based on how well he has played since Nikola Jokic got hurt.
Yeah, definitely a lot of things to discuss there, especially after Payton Watson's few legacy games. And legacy games are what brings us here today, talking about Bo Nix and the Broncos playing the Bills this year. Second time around in the playoffs, this time in the divisional round after the Broncos got the first seed. Of course, it is the biggest game that the Broncos have played in Bo Nix's short career. And there is something to be said about how much games like this affect players' legacies moving forward through the entirety of his career. Games like this will define what Bo Nix is. How important is it for Bo to perform at a solid level in this game? I mean, getting the win is one thing, but you want to see something from your franchise quarterback that proves, hey, you can win the big one at a certain point. And it's games like this that define what they can do in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's two things here. First, I'm not going to call it game for a 25-year-old a legacy game. Not quite yet. That to me is just too early in his career when Bo Nix is going to play in this league the next 10 to 12, 14 years. To me, legacy games are John Elway going into Super Bowl 32, right? Like he had to win the big one at the very end of his career to cement his legacy and not be Dan Marino, be the guy that could get over the top. And John not only did it once, he did it twice. But I do think this is where you start building a legacy. I'll give you that, right? You know, you don't want to be the guy that, you got the 1 seed and you lost in the divisional round at home in the first round. I mean, that never ages well. You're the only team that got a bye. Look at the Detroit Lions last year. They got the bye. The Commanders came in and embarrassed them, and they didn't even make the playoffs this year. So in that sense, yeah, you need to start stacking playoff wins. You got to get your first one at some point to hopefully have a great career. So I see what you're saying that, like, yeah, Bo's got to show up, and Bo definitely has to be a big part of why the Broncos hopefully win this game on Saturday. But I don't think anyone's coming in on Monday going, his legacy is tarnished if the Broncos lose to the Bills. To me, just too early in the career to make bold statements like that. I think it's like I said, a chance to start building the legacy. But I don't think ultimately this is a game that, 15 years from now is going to be the defining game of the Bo Nix era.
See, but that's the thing. 15 years from now, you're saying it as if Bo has more opportunities. We don't know what the future holds. I mean, we don't. This could be his last time getting into the playoffs for all we know. Now, I don't believe that's going to happen, obviously, but these are moments in young quarterbacks' careers where they have a chance to put a stamp on something. Even if he gets a win here, that is something that you can look at and say, okay, we know Bo can win at a high level up against Josh Allen and the Bills, welcoming them to their home stadium in the divisional round. It doesn't get much bigger than this other than the last 2 games after this one. So there is an opportunity here, and I want to go say that this is going to be his defining career game, but this is the opportunity to start that legacy, if you will. Bo, depending on how he performs, I think it'll be very indicative of what kind of quarterback he is. There are quarterbacks that can win at the highest level. There are quarterbacks that can feel that pressure and overcome it. And I think that Bo Nix can do that. But if he goes out and he lays an egg on Saturday, we'll be having some tough conversations on Monday. And I don't want to say that they're deserved, but they're going to happen. They're going to happen no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like, I'm not trying to ignore the moment. It's a massive moment for Bo Nix, and I get that. And he needs to perform. And the Broncos walked off winners 14 of 17 times this year, and it would be a real shame to waste a 14-3 regular season. And yeah, it would be absolutely a colossal disappointment if they lost. I think we're all, or at least I am, a little bummed that it's Buffalo. But guess what? It's Thursday. The bracket broke the way it did. We can't go back in time and change it. Would have much rather seen the Chargers or maybe the Texans and, of course, the Steelers. That's not the way it fell for the Broncos. No one can change that. So, yeah, no, if Bo goes out and plays poorly, there will definitely be hard conversations on Monday. There's no question about it. But, I mean, look at Patrick Mahomes. The first time he had a home playoff game, he won one, and then he lost to the Patriots in the AFC title game. And everyone's like, oh, man, Mahomes lost in the AFC title game to Tom Brady and the Patriots. The guy went on to win 3 Super Bowls after that. So, Super Bowl is the goal. Don't get me wrong. And I think they're capable of winning the Super Bowl. I think we're on different pages in terms of, Bo Nix, if he loses this game, is he the guy? Is he not the guy? Unless it's a laying of a giant egg, I don't think that's a conversation we're going to be having. I think we're going to say he made another tremendous amount of progress, and we're excited to see it going into year 3. But I understand that, people like yourself are on the other side of it. And that's what makes these games so much fun, because there really is so much on the line. I hope, and you hope, you're talking about going to an AFC title game on Monday and not locker room cleanout, because the difference in those 2 sentences, I mean, think about that. Everyone's sad putting their stuff in a trash bag because the season's over versus everyone preparing for either the Patriots or Texans to come to Empower Field at Mile High. That's definitely going to swing the mood in a pretty big way.
Yeah, to say the least. So what I'm hearing from you is both optimism and it's a little bit of both from you, because you're talking about if he goes out and the Broncos lose, it'll be a failure. You said something along the lines of that, but then you also said that Bo Nix is showing growth. Say, just hypothetically, the Broncos lose on Saturday. Do you think that this season is still overall a success, or were you hoping to see more? Getting the AFC #1 seed and having a fast track lane to the Super Bowl and losing the divisional round, that could be looked at both ways. I mean, you're looking at a second-year QB who leads the team to one of the best records. Is it the best record in the NFL? I know that they're tied, right, with the Seahawks. Maybe not. I might be wrong. But one of the best records, and then goes out and loses. It can be looked at both ways.
Yeah, and I think that's where we distinguish between Bo Nix and team, right? We started this conversation specific to Bo, and I'm going to say it's a successful season for Bo no matter what happens, and I'm not going to make too rash of judgments based on this game. But to your question for the Broncos, absolutely it's a failure if you lose on Saturday. Yes, the season would be a bitter, bitter pill to swallow because the 1 seed is so rare. 2 home games to go to the Super Bowl is so rare. That I'll agree with you. You may never get that again in the Sean Payton Bo Nix era. I mean, the 1 seed is incredibly hard. They had to win 14 games, and they still tied with New England and won it on a fluky tiebreaker that the Patriots lost to the Raiders in week 1. I mean, who could have seen that coming? So, yeah, that's where I'll distinguish Bo Nix and Broncos. Bo, I'm going to have to see how the game plays out before I make any grand statements. Broncos team, you lose? Yeah, it was a great regular season, but it was a bitter, bitter disappointment. And I'm sure Sean Payton and the players would echo that. They know the opportunity in front of them You cannot go one and done in these playoffs when, again, the NFL gives you the easiest path. You get to play one fewer game, and they're both at home. Yeah, that is definitely a fair statement that if Denver loses this game, a great regular season goes poof. You would have wasted a lot of hard work over the last 6 months.
Yeah. So we started the conversation with Bo, and then we got to the team, and I wanted to bring it to somebody else. What about Sean Payton's legacy? Again, say they lose. That's got to affect his legacy in a huge way. I mean, he's coming to Denver hoping to be a coach that leads 2 separate teams to the Super Bowl, gets the 1 seed, and goes out and can't win in the divisional round. That's going to affect his legacy much more than Bo Nix's.
Yeah, and with Sean, I think the question is, can he still do it in the playoffs? Like, he's obviously proven he can do it in the regular season, but he does have that 1 Super Bowl, and we're coming up on 20 years since he hoisted the Lombardi Trophy, and he's been on the wrong side of some all-time painful playoff losses. I mean, you think about the Minneapolis Miracle with the Case Keenum play to Stephon Diggs down the sideline. You think about the non-call against the Rams on the PI down in the Superdome in New Orleans. You can make a real case Sean Payton could have 3 or 4 rings, but that's not the universe we live in. He's got 1, and he does need to add that second. And if it comes down to coaching on Saturday, yeah, a ton of pressure is on Sean, especially because look who's on the other side. It's Sean McDermott. That's the definition of the guy who can't win the big one. Every year the Bills lose, and they lose in the most painful fashion. So Sean Payton needs to add to that to Sean McDermott and say, look, I can get the big one done. This guy still can't. Joey, I think there's a scenario where if the Bills lose, Sean McDermott gets dismissed on Sunday or Monday. Like, yeah, that's kind of crazy for a final 8 team, but that's the pressure he's under and Buffalo's under to win this football game. So, yeah, for Payton, it's just what Sean Payton's battling is time, right? It's just been a long, long time since he's won the Super Bowl, and it's great. He's coached at a high level, and his resume is awesome, and he stacks wins in the regular season. But, yeah, I think even if you had a latte with Sean, Sean likes to have lattes and spout off, he would tell you he's got to break through again, and what a perfect opportunity being the 1 seed.
Yeah, I mean, if Harbaugh and Tomlin can get dismissed, then McDermott can 100% get dismissed. I mean, that's not even a question. And that's a very real scenario. I mean, we could be talking about that on Tuesday instead of, again, locker cleanup. But I mean, I can't remember a time that it's been this big. This game, this weekend has been as important. And people are trying to draw comparisons to last year, but it's not even close. Again, the Broncos were never taken seriously in that matchup against the Bills last year in the wild card. That was a game that the Broncos were never supposed to win. And I've said it for a week and a half now. If you believe that the Broncos are going to win that game, then you got to maybe check yourself into something, because that was never a possibility. This year, this game, it's a bigger possibility. I'm not going to say it's 50-50. I'm still really, really scared that the Bills are going to pull away and win this one. But it's going to be cinema no matter what. And I want to get your score prediction. I've been getting the score predictions from everybody as they come on the show. What's your score prediction for this weekend?
Yeah, just a quick thought on what you said. I think the Broncos were definitely happy to be here last year. I mean, there was 7 seed, right? We hadn't been in the city hadn't been in the playoffs in a decade. Like, it was just a breakthrough moment to finally get in the dance. And this year, I think the players have reflected the tone of the fans of, yeah, okay, we're the Denver Broncos. We've got 3 Lombardis. We want to stack a 4th this year, and it's a real possibility when they're the 1 seed. So, yeah, I totally agree with you there that last year it was just a deep breath, made the playoffs again for the first time in forever. And this year it's, hey, this franchise is really proud. They've played in 8 Super Bowls. It's time to play in another one and hopefully win another one. Man, Joey, I've been going back and forth on a prediction all week because I really can see 2 different montages, right? Think about it. Broncos play Saturday at 2:30. There's a game Saturday at 6. And that montage leading into the game at Saturday at 6 is going to be either Josh Allen battered and bruised and maybe even bloodied and going into the medical tent and walking off the field with his head down low and his helmet off, and Josh came up short again. Is he ever going to get it done? Denver's through to the AFC title game. I can really picture that. I can also picture Josh Allen sprinting off the field at Empower with a hand in the air, fist pumping the crowd, and the montage leading into the game is Josh Allen and the Cinderella Bills are on to the AFC title game, and this could be the year Josh gets it done. I mean, if you close your eyes, you can see those two scenarios playing out. And that's what makes this game such a coin flip and so tough. But the Broncos have done two things. One, they've won close games all year. And two, they have thrived as underdogs. They are underdogs, or maybe, slight favorites, depending on the book. It changes every day. Let's call it what it is. It's a pick 'em. But that said, the Bills are beat up. Denver's at home. They've thrived in that role, and they've won close games. Give me the Broncos 21-20 and a dramatic win to move on to the AFC Championship.
I like it. And you know what scared me about what you were just saying is both of the scenarios I imagined. Josh Allen is walking away battered, bruised, and bloody. I mean, he's going to get beat up. He was beat up last week. We'll just see if he can do what he's done his entire career and win games. But, I mean, he hasn't been able to do that in the playoffs. And I think a big factor of that is the setting here in Denver. Yeah. Josh Allen just got his first ever road playoff win last week. Lightning doesn't strike twice in the same place. That's where my head's going to be at for this weekend. Will, thank you so much for joining. Always good to see you. Everybody else, thank you so much for being here. I will see you all tomorrow. Until then, y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye, y'all.